Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about beta-alanine, and nowadays you see it in two forms. In the form by itself, where you can buy it and use it by itself, and in the form of a pre-workout. And a great example is CBum's pre-workout right here, and you inside of it and you see beta-alanine. However, I do believe that using beta-alanine in pre-workouts is the downfall of its use, and I'm going to show you why. But first of all, I'm going to explain how it works. So I'm going to delve deep into the science, show you my point of view, and all that. So, obviously, first of all, let's start. Pretty much beta-alanine is an amino acid that your body does not produce by itself. So when you intake it by supplementation, so like a pre-workout or a powder, then it increases the production of carnosine. And carnosine is basically something that helps you reduce the buildup of lactic acid. So when you're working out, lactic acid builds up, and carnosine slash beta alanine is something that kind of blocks that lactic acid, so you can go for longer. That is what beta alanine does. So obviously, beta alanine supplementation, beta alanine turns into carnosine, and then it buffers the lactic acid. So it basically neutralizes lactic acid, so you can go longer, because lactic acid is what will tell you that you cannot go anymore and you will have to stop. So very easy how it works. Now the ups and downs, obviously the advantages of beta alanine, and these are study proven, so you can trust them. Improved endurance, reduced fatigue, increased power output because of the improved endurance, and potential for everyone. I would say not just older people, but there's a potential for everyone. However, disadvantages is the tingling sensation, and it is commonly put together with beta alanine. The tingling sensation, again, it really depends on if you like it or if you don't. I would say that harder people who go to the gym more like the feeling, but newer people might not like the feeling. Another downside is potential gastrointestinal issues. I would say very rare for this to actually happen, and potential interactions with other medications, but I wouldn't really worry about this too much. So that is how beta alanine works. Those are the ups and downs, and now we can go through some of the studies that are showing that it is good. So first study right here, and pretty much. So what are these studies? Just to prove you that these studies are worthy of trusting. So basically, what these studies are, they are systematic reviews or they are meta-analysis, and what this means is that they basically took a bunch of clinical trusted studies, they put them together, and then they looked, okay, does this work or does this not work? And basically, if this review or if this meta analysis finds that most of the clinical trials said that it works, then it will say then yes, it worked. However, if this study finds that most clinical trials failed, then it will obviously say that they failed. And here, obviously, you can see that they picked clinical trials from three databases, and there in total there were 1,461 participants. So these aren't just sources that you can find anywhere. These are trusted sources, and now I'm going to show you if they said that beta alanine works or if it does not work. This study right here, found that beta-alanine had a significant overall effect. Moving on to the next one. This one right here found that overall performance parameters related to strength, power, and total exercise work capacity uh, in combat sports were significantly improved. So this is more for endurance in combat sports. Um, so this study found that beta-alanine had no effect, but then if we look at the bigger picture, two meta-analysis said that it works. One said that it has small effect. So it still does work. And this one found that there were no statistical significances between the total work output. And lastly, one more study. This study looked at the body composition and basically found that beta-alanine had no effect on body composition. However, that is not really what we were looking for. We're just looking for if it improved performance. And clearly, 3 studies suggesting that it did, 1 study suggesting that it did not, and then 1 study suggesting that it did not change body composition. So it works, right? But now I want to pay attention to one thing and one thing only, is the amount of time. And this is where I think that using beta-alanine in pre-workouts is bad, is in these studies, they used beta-alanine for a long period of time. So, for example, study right here used beta-alanine for 5 to 6 weeks daily. So as you can see here, 4.8 grams up to 6.1 grams every single day of beta-alanine. Now, we know that beta-alanine works. And we know that in all these studies, they use beta-alanine for a long period of time, every single day. So, keeping that in mind, we can move on to the last point, and that is the double-edged sword. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about using beta-alanine in pre-workouts. So if you want the beta-alanine to work in a pre-workout, you must be taking that pre-workout every single day, because it has that build-up effect. However, what else is in a pre-workout? Caffeine anhydrous. And basically, if you're trying to take your pre-workout every single day for the beta-alanine to work, that means you're building up a resistance to the caffeine. So either you want the caffeine to work, either you want the beta-alanine to work. I would much rather prefer the caffeine to work. So whatever you do in this situation of using a pre-workout, beta-alanine will never be useful unless you take the pre-workout every single day, and then the caffeine becomes less useful. So that is, I believe, the double-edged sword. And to sum it up, why I think beta-alanine is falling off is because people are using it in pre-workouts. Now, if in fact you wanted to use beta-alanine and you bought something like this, and you just used beta-alanine on its own, you used it every single day, and you used it in around 4 to 6 grams, then yes, it will work. Yes, there are studies saying that it does work, meaning it does work. However, most people look at a pre-workout, they look at the ingredients, they see that it has beta-alanine, and they say, okay, this is good. However, it's not good. If you see beta-alanine on a pre-workout, it means that that is not good. It will not help you. It is just a filler. It basically does nothing. And I think for the future of pre-workouts, we should move on from the idea of adding beta-alanine in pre-workouts, because at the end of the day, there's basically no effect of it. So yeah, that's pretty much to sum it up. So yeah, that's why I think beta alanine is bad. Anyways, see you in the next one.